Trish Stratus, 7-time WWE Women's Champion, 2013 Hall of Fame inductee. Trish Stratus made her WWE debut on March 19, 2000, changing the WWE landscape forever, breaking into the business by managing the team of TNA. Eventually, Trish would start a close relationship with Vince McMahon, causing issues with the billion-dollar princess Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Trish would later compete for the WWE Women's Championship and continue to evolve in the ring. She would go on to have amazing rivalries with some of the top female athletes in WWE, including Jazz, Molly Holly, Victoria, and, of course, Lita. Trish's career spanned for over 6 years when she retired in 2006. Trish would continue to make appearances in WWE until she was officially inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013. Trish would return to the ring in 2018 for the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match and the first ever women's only pay-per-view event, Evolution. Her last appearance in WWE was in August 2019 when she would challenge the Queen Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam for a Battle of the Generations or Eras. You cannot discuss WWE female talent without discussing who I consider to be the greatest WWE female wrestler of all time, Trish Stratus. Welcome to Ladies of the Ring. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Yes, this is episode 1 of Ladies of the Ring. I'm Ant and I'm joined by my co-host.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Carlos.
And today we are going over the first Lady of the Ring, Trish Stratus. Our episode is all about her, and I was so excited to do this with you, Carlos, because Trish is my all-time favorite WWE female athlete, but I'm also excited to do this whole series with you because, in my opinion, I feel like women are some of the best wrestlers on the roster, and I'm excited to see the many different moments and matches and to celebrate women. So I'm excited to do this. So let's start off really quick. Now, Trish Stratus debuted in 2000. I was 7. Carlos, how old were you?
I think I was born, or wait, when was that? I was born in April 2000, so I was just like a newborn or even not even born yet.
So Carlos was like just a newborn baby when Trish Stratus premiered in WWE. So for me, I have a sort of different outlook on Trish because I grew up with her. So for me, I have many thoughts. So Carlos, I'll ask you first. When I say Trish Stratus, what sort of thoughts come to your mind?
Legend, trailblazer for women of today. Just the all-time star.
Cool. Yeah. And for me, I agree. Like, when I think of Trish Stratus, I go back and think of my childhood, and I think of like just the matches she's had, but also she was pretty nice to look at too. But she showed that, you know, you can look, but also I have more than just that. And
wait, just one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And just the evolution, like just like the matches we watched, she matches went like from shorter to better and better and better. Like she just got better every time in the ring.
Yes, and that is something that, like, even you and I think we discussed it, like, some of the matches that we saw, like, the hardcore elements, like, we were surprised that they were doing that back then, so it was nice to see, but, yeah, when I think of Trish, I just think of just, like, her and her matches, and I always liked her, so it makes me smile when I think of Trish.
Yeah.
So that was our first thought on Trish. Now, another topic that a lot of people think of when they think of Trish is her theme song. Trish is one of these people that has a very famous song, a catchy song, and the song is by Lil' Kim, and you just hear it, and it's one of those that like you just want to sing when you hear it. Now, I don't know if I can play the full song on here, but I can play a snippet. Okay. There you go. I think we're okay. I think we won't get in trouble for that. So yeah, so it's time to rock and roll. So that song, once you heard it, you knew it was her. It sort of was the song that just connected with her. Did you like the song, Carlos? What did you think about it?
It was a great song. It's catchy. That's all.
Sound of rock and roll. Break it down. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, it was very catchy, and a lot of people, like, when they think of Trish, they automatically just jump right into her theme song because it's very catchy. And it kind of has like an old school kind of like early 2000s vibe with the instruments and so it's definitely deep 2000. But I love her theme song. Definitely check out. The song is called "It's Time to Rock and Roll." Little Kim, and if you look up on YouTube, you can just type in Trish Stratus theme song and you can hear it. But it's a great song. I definitely got excited whenever I heard it because I knew she was coming. So we are now going to dive into our deep investigation on Trish Stratus' career. So we are looking at moments and matches throughout throughout Trish's career that sort of propelled her to the legacy that she has left behind. So Trish Stratus had already debuted in April 2000, but we are going to Raw's War, April 24th, 2000. And in this moment, Trish Stratus is basically seducing a table, and she was trying to play with Bubba Ray Dudley's head, and we'll get more into that in the next match that we see. But Trish, she comes in and she's wearing this sort of white tiger dress, and she's in this lingerie, and she's just talking about how she likes hard tables, and it's very sexual. And Carlos, I would ask you what you thought of it, but I think it might not be PG rated, so we are going to move on. But that's our first taste of Trish. If you want to see it, check out Monday Night Raw, April 24th, 2000, and you will see her laying on some tables. Then we could talk about this one, Carlos, because we're okay with this. We're going to Backlash 2000, the Dudley Boys against TNA with Trish Stratus. So the whole background for this match is that Trish Stratus has, before I get to Trish, let me talk about Bubba. Bubba Ray Dudley is crazy. He's obsessed with putting women through tables. He gets very into it, and then he gets this glaze over his face after he does it. At that point, he had power bombed Mae Young, Terry, and many other female superstars through tables. So when he saw Trish Stratus, he thought, here's another one. However, Bubba became infatuated with Trish, and anytime he would try to put her through a table, she would kiss him, and then TNA would take him out, and she'd walk off. So Trish was trying to manipulate Bubba by laying on tables and trying to get into his head. And so now the match was a good match. Trish helped TNA get the win by standing on the apron, and she looked really good. But then the moment was after the match, Bubba Ray grabbed her. He put her, he stood her up for a power bomb, and she made out with him. And the whole world's thinking he's not going to put her through it. But then, hell yeah, he jumps off and puts her through that table. And that was the first serious bump that Trish took in WWE. And I thought it was crazy to see it. What did you think?
Yeah, same. I thought it was really crazy that even after they made out, he still put her to the table, and that's her first bump that she ever took.
Yeah, and what I liked about Trish too in that moment was the fact that, even her first debut, she was willing, not her first debut because she premiered before, but in her beginning career stages of her career, she was willing to put her body through a table. So that just kind of showed you the type of athlete she was. So then we go to Fully Loaded 2000, and we see the team of Trish Stratus and TNA taking on the team of. Wait, let me make sure I have this here just to make sure. 2 seconds. Hang on. Yes, I do. Okay. I was just looking all kinds of twisted for a second. Okay, so Yes, so Fully Loaded 2000, Trish and TNA against Lita and the Hardy Boys, and it's a six-person intergender tag match. And the storyline leading up to this is that Trish has attacked Lita and the Hardys numerous times, and at one point, Trish and Lita are both standing on top of a ladder, and Trish pushes Lita off the ladder, and Lita goes flying um, through a table, getting really hurt and injured. So basically, this match was sort of the combination of the two of them fighting and getting their first like competition against each other. So it was a decent match. The Hardy Boys and Lita ended up winning after Lita hit a moonsault on Trish. And then after the match, we saw Trish Stratus attack Lita with a leather strap. What did you think of this match, Carlos? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. I don't remember much of that match, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I know that it wasn't the greatest match for sure because there's been a lot of other ones, but for that time and being able to see her, that was very cool, in my opinion. So that was.
And I do appreciate like the ladder bump that you just talked about when Lita put up the ladder. I do appreciate that, and I think we need some more of that.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like they were doing that for a bit, and then they sort of kind of just like gave up on that. So yeah, so that was a pretty decent moment. So then we're going to the Monday Night Raws were after Fully Loaded. So we're July 24th, 2000, and we're seeing Trish Stratus take on Lita in a leather strap match, and it was a decent match. Um we saw Trish and Lita have a moment where they were just like strapping each other, but then Stephanie McMahon came in, she ran in and she hit not Trish Stratus, she hit Lita with a title belt, allowing Trish to get the pinfall victory. So there really wasn't much to this match aside from um we're seeing the transition of another issue of Trish and Lita. So really not much to talk about there. But there is definitely something to talk about with our next match. So this match comes to us the week after July 24th. We're on July 31st, 2000, Raw's War, and we're seeing the team of Triple H and Trish Stratus against WWE Champion The Rock and Lita. So this was a mixed tag match, and Stephanie McMahon was backstage during it. It was a pretty decent match, but the Rock and Lita got the victory. And after the match, Trish Stratus was like knocked out on the floor. And The Rock nailed Triple H with a chair. And Triple H fell in the 69 position, if you know what that is. And it caused a huge rift between Triple H and Stephanie and kind of led to the rivalry that we will be talking about soon. But what did you think of that match and specifically that moment?
Yeah, it was a decent match. Wasn't the greatest, wasn't the worst. And then that moment was just hilarious. How and I know it's the not question. Yeah, that must have got something heated up.
For sure. Really I think so too. I thought it was pretty crazy. So next we're moving on to No Way Out 2001, and we're seeing Trish Stratus taking on Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Now, the backstory here is that Vince McMahon asked Linda for a divorce. She got so upset by it that she ended up having to be in a convalescent home. And while that was going on, Trish Stratus was having an affair with Vince McMahon. Now, Stephanie feels intimidated and that she is going to be second fiddle to no female. So her and Trish have a rivalry and they go at it back and forth. There's moments where Trish pours this like black liquid over Stephanie and then puts Stephanie's face in like horse poop. And then you see like Stephanie throw stuff on Trish, and it's just like a non-stop issue between the two. And we finally get the two to go head to head at No Way Out, and we see Trish Stratus walks down in a mink coat. There's a lot of good back and forth action, and then there's a moment where Stephanie throws water on Trish, And then there's also another moment where Stephanie pulls down Trish's pants and shirt. And then basically the ending was kind of controversial because Trish ended up getting a pin on Stephanie, but William Regal put Stephanie's foot on the rope. So then Trish slaps him, and then Regal hits her with his finisher, and then Stephanie goes over and pins Trish for the win. Altogether, it was a pretty decent match, especially for Trish's early stages. What did you think?
I thought it was okay match. She definitely evolved in this match, gotten better. This is one-on-one match that was one of my favorites, and I didn't at first I didn't really get why William Regal did that, but now I get to understand it more. But yeah, it was a good match and it was very entertaining.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And Stephanie McMahon was doing really good in that match, surprisingly.
Yeah, she was. I was surprised to see that too. She kind of she really gave it her all. So, I was happily surprised to see that. So it was a really good match. So next, we are now going to the end of 2001, November, with Survivor Series, the six-pack challenge to crown the new WWE Women's Championship. So pretty much, Chyna was a women's champion, and she got fired from WWE. So they just never brought the title back until now. So the women's championship is on the line, and you have also going into this pay-per-view, there's the whole WWE versus the Alliance drama. So a lot is riding on this pay-per-view. So you have Lita taking on Jacqueline, taking on Trish Stratus, taking on Ivory, Mighty Molly, and the surprise entrance, Jazz. And this was a very good match for the time. Now when we look back, we're like, wow, this is crappy. But at the time, for the women, it wasn't too bad. A lot of them looked great. Jazz looked amazing. But Trish ended up winning and becoming, for the first time ever, women's champion after hitting Ivory with the Stratus Faction Bulldog. Now, we have to talk about this match because it was her first title win. What did you think of it?
It was great. Yeah, I thought at the time it was a good match. For the women, but yeah, it was a good match. I really liked that. She was such a powerhouse.
Yeah,
she was built everywhere. Surprised that really see her.
She really was. She really was a power.
Very big, huh?
No, she really was. She was very powerful. I agree with you.
Yeah, she was shredded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool to see that. Her first championship win out of the many that she had.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to move right along to 2002 at WrestleMania 18. It is a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. The women's champion, who we just talked about, Jazz, is defending her title against Trish Stratus and Lita. And this WrestleMania was in Trish's hometown of Toronto, Canada. So she was excited to fight. However, Jazz got the win after pinning Lita. It was a good match. It followed Hulk Hogan and The Rock, so a lot of people weren't really into it because of that. But for a match, I thought they had a pretty decent, damn well good match. So I thought it was good. So then we're going to go now to Unforgiven 2002. The women's champion, Molly Holly, defending against Trish Stratus. And they had a really good match. Molly, her character was sort of I'm better than everybody. I'm not going to show my body. I'm, pure. And Trish was, the model, but she also was a great fighter. So this was a good match. Trish ended up winning. I think this was either her second or third women's championship. And it just also kind of showed more of what Trish could do in the ring as her abilities seemed to get better in this specific match. Then we're going to move on to November 2002 with the Survivor Series. And this is one of Trish's most famous matches. Trish Stratus defends her women's championship against the crazy Victoria in a hardcore match. And I thought this match was very, very good. They gave a lot of crazy moments. And it was just crazy to see them using the kendo sticks. They brought in what was that? The the fire extinguisher. They used mirrors. They used all kinds of crazy things. And a fun fact, Victoria said in an interview that the real ending of the match was supposed to be her taking the mirror and smashing it over Trish's head and getting the pinfall victory. But during the match, before the ending happened, Trish accidentally stepped on the mirror, already breaking it. So they knew they couldn't do the finish. So the way the finish actually happened was she takes a fire extinguisher, blows a smoke in Trish's face, and then hits her with a suplex and gets the pin. But it was still a really great match. What did you think?
Honestly, I mean, I don't really remember this match either. I'm sure it was good, but I don't really have much to say. I don't remember this match.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely another match that sort of like showed what Trish could handle and the physicality that she would put her body through. Next we're going to Raw, January 27th, 2003, and we're seeing the women's champion Victoria taking on Trish Stratus in a Chicago street fight. And this match was different because these two were doing some crazy moves from the get-go. The way they were jumping, and it was just a crazy intense match. Kendo sticks were being used. A lot of things were happening. Steven Richards ended up helping Victoria get the win, and it was a good match. Another match just to show Trish Stratus's physicality. Then we move on to WrestleMania 19. The WWE Women's Championship is on the line again as champion Victoria defends against Jazz and Trish Stratus. And this is another great match here at WrestleMania 19. Jazz looked impressive. Victoria looked impressive, but Trish ended up winning and becoming new women's champion. Did you remember this match? Any thoughts on this one?
WrestleMania 19 it was Lita, right? Her versus Lita?
Well, no, WrestleMania 19 was Trish Stratus against Jazz and Victoria.
Oh yeah, this match was really good. This match I think she did her best. This was my favorite out of all the ones that we watched. She really evolved and got better. And I forgot who won, but yeah, I remember the match.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one too. I thought it was from the ones that we saw up until that point. It was a very good match. Our next moment comes to us from WrestleMania 20. Although Trish was not actually fighting in the match, she was definitely involved in it. Chris Jericho taking on Christian. The storyline going into the match is that Trish Stratus has found a close relationship with Chris Jericho. It seems like they're going to get together, but Christian is not happy with that, and he attacks his friend, and he also attacks Trish, causing these two to fight at WrestleMania. However, Trish Stratus is probably her most famous moment. She is in the ring and she thinks it's Christian, but she hits Chris Jericho. Christian hits the unprettier, and then he gets the win. And after the match, we see she slaps. Well, she had already slapped Chris Jericho to lead for the unprettier, but then after the match, her and Christian make out with each other. What did you think of that?
I really enjoyed the ending. The match was really good, but the ending was shocking as hell. How she kicked Chris Jericho in low blow.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
How they ended up making out at the end.
Yep.
So unexpected. Like you would have thought that she would have never done that.
Yeah, it was a crazy moment for sure, and I was really into it when it happened. We're gonna move right along to November 2004 with Survivor Series. Trish Stratus defending her women's championship against Lita, and these two were going at it for a while because Trish, made fun of Lita. They already had a past history together. Lita was pregnant. She lost the baby, and Trish kept making fun of her. Well, Trish got the DQ win after Lita continued to hit Trish Stratus with the chair, breaking Trish's nose. And then after the match,
this was the one when her nose broke.
Yep. Remember,
that match was insane. Yeah, she just went all out, started punching her everywhere. She took her down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended the match, but it was crazy. She was bleeding everywhere. She was so scared, like, oh my god.
Yep, she was screaming. Yep, it was crazy. So that match leads us to a lot of people call this match sort of the.
And I just want to point out,
Yep.
every single match Jerry Lawler was commentary, he was probably the happiest freaking person to eat. Was so freaking great.
Jerry Lawler was.
Damn, man.
He was having like conniption about it. He was really into it.
He was like he was in a candy shop with a whole bunch of candy around him, like, oh.
Mm-hmm. And he was actually feeling that way this time around for this one because this match takes place on Raw, and it was the first ever time that female women, female women, they are women, that women main evented a Raw, and we saw the women's champion Trish Stratus defending against Lita. This match, Trish had a nose protector on her face, so she looked a little crazy. There was a moment in the match where Lita did a dive to the outside of the ring, and she broke her neck. It was a very good match, and Lita won
after. The fact that she continued.
Yeah, she did. She continued, yep. She continued through all of that, and she still kept on fighting. She won after a moonsault, and it was a great match, and it sort of put both women on the map. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely. It was a match that I would say made them legend pretty much because they main evented a Raw.
Yeah.
For the women's championship. Lita continued with her neck with a broken neck. Like, come on, you can't top that.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It was a great moment and a great match. Now we're going to a year later, Survivor Series 2005. The women's champion Trish Stratus, of course, with her friend Mickie James, taking on Melina with Eminem. There wasn't a lot of build up to this match. It was just basically a Raw versus SmackDown match. Trish got the win after she hit Melina with a top rope bulldog. Nothing great here. It was a decent match, but just sort of showing, where she is in her time at the moment. Then we come to another great match that I really enjoyed. WrestleMania 22, the women's champion Trish Stratus defending against Mickie James. And this is a really good one. There was a lot of crazy build-up here. Mickie James was in love with Trish Stratus and obsessed with her. Trish didn't want any part of it, and Mickie lost her mind. So, she had a good match. There's a moment where she is grabbing Trish in the southern border, and she then puts her tongue between her fingers. And if you are an adult, you know that reference. If you are not, you don't know, and that is okay. So there were a lot of crazy moments. Mickie ended up getting the win after, I think it was a DDT. What did you think of this match?
That was a little weird for me to watch. It was good, but
yeah, it was
we talked about that,
It was also weird how the crowd was all into Mickie when Mickie was the bad guy, so it was kind of strange.
Yeah, that was something else. Yeah, the crowd was like cheering for her the whole time.
Mm-hmm. It was weird.
It was hard to play her off as a heel.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Same thing with Becky Lynch when she turned heel. The crowd kept cheering her when she was supposed to be a heel.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's how bad we wanted her.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It was exactly right. Then we are on to, we have two more matches. This is Trish Stratus' retirement match, or so she said. So it's Unforgiven 2006. The women's champion Lita is defending her title against Trish. I thought this was a great match. They did some amazing maneuvers. They were outside. They both fell off the top rope to the outside. They did some over-the-top rope moves. Lita did her famous moves, and Trish ended up getting the win after putting Lita in a sharpshooter, and Lita tapped out, and Trish became new women's champion, bowing before the audience because this was her retirement match. I thought it was an amazing match. What did you think?
Yeah, that's an amazing match. It was great. A good ending to a great career.
Exactly. And so now, well, yeah, so we thought. So Trish has some matches in between, from 06 to 2019, but her last match, and probably, in my opinion, my favorite match of hers, comes from SummerSlam 2019 as Trish Stratus takes on Charlotte Flair. and you had the battle of the two eras. You had Trish Stratus taking on Charlotte, two of the greatest women athletes in WWE history. It was a great match. Trish Stratus was pulling off moves I had never seen her do before, and Charlotte was bringing it too. I wasn't sure who was going to win. I remember watching it when it happened live, and I thought it was good, but rewatching it, I was really invested in it, as you remember, because I was screaming and call it Charlotte, Big Bird, and another word that I will not say on here. But I thought it was really good, and then Charlotte got the win with the figure eight. What did you think?
Yeah, it was really good. One of my favorites too because it was more of my era.
Yeah.
Like watching it was like so cool. A lot of the moves, Trish Stratus, like she had some new ones in her back pocket, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so cool. Like even though she did take that up, she like just showed respect to Charlotte and like had the ring for herself, you know.
Exactly. So now that we have gone over Trish's career, although it seemed like a short career, it was very long. I want to just go over her legacy. And just to go over it, Trish was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013. Her accomplishments in the ring speak for themselves. Trish was always giving it her all, making sure all of her fans remained satisfied. Trish has left a lasting legacy on the current women's division as she helped pave the way for their incredible talents to be displayed. Can you imagine WWE without Trish Stratus? Me either. Trish Stratus will always be remembered for her talents in and out of the ring and is definitely a true lady of the ring. So, as we come to a close on our first episode of Ladies of the Ring, I have a very special announcement to make. Episode 2 of Ladies of the Ring will drop on Saturday, February 20th, 2021, and episode 2 will be covering the career and legacy of the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Radio Public, wherever you want. Also, I've noticed we've had some new followers to our YouTube page. Thank you. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page because we have special highlights and special content only available through YouTube. For example, I am going to be creating a list of the greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view matches of all time. And that list will premiere on January 30th only on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe so you can check that out on YouTube. Also, you can check us out on Instagram. Our page is world.of WWE. Make sure you follow us. And also, you could check us out on Facebook as well, World of WWE. Make sure you leave a comment. Give us a 5-star rating. Rate us good. We appreciate all of the love and support. Carlos, any last words for our people?
No, nothing much. Just thank you for supporting us in our channel. We're gonna continue to grow with you guys, and just continue to be there.
Yeah, of course, and we really appreciate the support. Again, Trish Stratus. I'm stratified. After doing this, I feel really good. And yeah, I'm just praying Trish come back. I know I feel very selfish. She's already fought like a million times, but come back. We need you. You still got it. All right, now will I go?
We need a match between her and Sasha, to be honest.
Hey, you know what? That door is left open at the Royal Rumble, remember? So, you know,
she had that little standoff there when Sasha eliminated her. Thank you very much. Yeah.
That was for sure a moment. So, now it is time for us to say goodbye. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on February 20th, 2021, Ladies of the Ring, Episode 2, The Glamazon Beth Phoenix. Thank you for listening, and stay safe, everybody.